Hello everyone, welcome back to English with the Sings. Today we're looking at review writing. So another possible exam task for section 2 of component 2 English language exam, Eduqas. So I've got an example review here. This is from 2019. Write a review for a teenage magazine of a book, film, or TV program or series that you've enjoyed in the last year and why it might appeal to others of your age. 20 marks. So we've got the mark scheme here. So remember, the mark scheme is the same for all the transactional persuasive writing. So reports, reviews, letters, articles, and speeches. And you need to show that you can adapt your writing for those different types of writing. So if we look at the top of the mark scheme here, so it's out of 12 marks for communication organisation and 8 marks for vocabulary, sentences, spelling and punctuation. And on the content side, you need to show really sophisticated, really good, clear, developed understanding of the purpose and the format of the task and the reader or audience. Okay, so if we have a look first of all at this task here, so we know that it's a review. We also know the audience because it says it's for a teenage magazine, so we can assume the audience is teenagers. Because it's a review, the purpose would be to inform people, so to tell people about the book, film, or TV program. But people also read reviews for entertainment. So it might be funny, it's going to be quite informal. Remember, you don't have to like the thing that you're reviewing. You might write a review of something that you really dislike, and it's still quite entertaining for people to read. Now, if you've got a task like this, remember you could be asked to review anything. So a product, a food, TV, film, books, restaurant. In this case, they've given you a choice. They'll always give you something quite open because they can't ask you to review a specific thing you might not have seen or read or watched or used it. So you want to pick something that you're really familiar with, because if you're really familiar with it, you will know details about it and you'll be able to write something that's more credible and detailed. So a book or a film or a TV series. So you can choose in this case. Let's continue looking at the mark scheme then. So your appropriate register is confidently adapted to purpose and audience. That means the language you use fits those things we've talked about. The fact that it's a review, the fact that it's for a teenage audience, and the fact that it's to inform and entertain. Content is ambitious, pertinent, sophisticated. Ideas are convincingly detailed and supported by a range of relevant details. So this means that you have got developed content and that you have got detail. So examples, specifics, using proper nouns. The sophistication in the shape and structure of the writing, so it flows well together, and it has ambition and sophistication. And on the other side, of course, we need to make sure that we have got fully accurate spelling, punctuation, and grammar, but we're also using a range of different things, so a range of sentences, a range of ambitious vocabulary, a range of punctuation, as well as, of course, it being accurate. So I'm going to look at a few examples here with you, different sections from different reviews, to think about what actually makes up a review. Now, a review has less of a clear-cut structure as maybe some of the other formats like reports and letters, very kind of formal and clear structure. Of course, you must write in paragraphs regardless of what task you're given. But for review, there are some key indicators that it's a review, and there's key aspects of the style that a review takes. So we're going to look at some example extracts here. So the first thing you can see here, I've got a review in front of me, the first part of the review, and you can see immediately, of course, you're going to need a title or a heading. So this one is a review of the Minecraft movie, a Minecraft movie review. Jack Black and Jason Momoa start in a seriously cobbled together live action spin-off. So immediately the title, we know what's being reviewed, the Minecraft movie, and we know roughly what the person thinks about it. Now, another part of the review, often you get this kind of star rating near the top. You can see here, this one only got 1 star, so we're expecting this reviewer not to have enjoyed it at all. You can do that at the beginning, you can do that at the end. And then you've got this kind of subheading or summary line. Napoleon Dynamite director Jared Hess's adventure based on the world's famous video game feels like one big cash-in. So they were disappointed with it, they weren't happy, and we immediately know what's being reviewed and what the opinion is from the start. So you can signal to the examiner that you are writing a review by opening it in this way. Now, of course, you also want to have some form of introduction to introduce your thoughts on the movie or whatever you're reviewing. So we've got another example here, and this is a review of the TV series A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, and this is their introduction. So take one teenage girl, add a dash of intrigue, a dash of danger, and a violent murder to solve, and what you get is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. That's right, Holly Jackson's beloved YA series is finally getting its big screen adaptation in this fun, zippy BBC Three series. So again, it's very clear what it's going to be reviewing. It's clear what it kind of involves, and it's told in a sort of fun, light-hearted, informal way. Now, another thing you want to include in a review is some kind of plot summary. Now, you must be careful not to give away spoilers, because people who are reading the review might be reading a review to see if they want to go and watch that film or read that book, and they don't want to have the whole plot ruined for them. It's kind of like a film trailer, really. You might include some key bits to intrigue the audience, but you don't want to give away all of the best bits, otherwise there's no point going to see the film. So here is a section of a review of The Hunger Games. And this is the sort of plot summary bit of The Hunger Games. So the entirety of North America has become a totalitarian state, traumatized by chronic food shortages. These once inspired a people's uprising in outlying regions, which was brutally suppressed, but the relevant communities forgiven, on condition they annually supply 24 young people by a lottery to compete in a televised survival contest in a fenced-off woodland arena, provided with weapons and food, fighting with the elements and each other until only one remains alive. So we've got this set up, the story of where it's set, what it's about, the challenge they're going to face. And in the rest of the review, they go on to include some specific things about characters and moments. But they don't give away key plots, twists, or the ending, of course. Now, you also want to make sure that you include opinions, but you also give examples. So involve yourself, make it personal. And that's why it's really important to pick something that you know well, that you know specific details about, like actors' names, for example. Now, here is another section of a review on the series Stranger Things. And this is a section about character. So I found myself mostly resonating with the teenage characters of the show, particularly Nancy Wheeler, Natalie Dyer, and Steve Harrington, Joe Keery. The way the show handled high school ideas of popularity was unique and refreshing, as it felt more accurate to my own experiences when I was in high school. Both Nancy and Steve realise they don't need the validation or the acceptance of their peers to do the right thing, but they each reach this development on their own, not one or the other or both together. Just like real teenagers, they had to make realizations about themselves on their own before they could commit to a relationship. So it's quite nice because they've included their own personal sort of reflection on how it related to their experience of school, and they've included the key characters' names, things that happened to them, as well as the actors. So making it as specific as possible, giving opinions with examples. That might be a specific moment in the film that was intriguing, or something about your favourite character, maybe. So at the end of your review, you want to make sure that you include sort of a summary of your ideas, a final recommendation or not, if you thought it was really bad. You might want to link it with other things. So, if you enjoyed this, you would also enjoy this. And just sort of a final lasting comments, really. So here is a review of the Harry Potter series from Fantasy Books. So this is the ending of their review. J.K. Rowling should be commended for getting so many people reading excited by books. The biggest surprise must be the effect that this novel had on the adult population, both male and female. At the time the books were published, many a commuting train was spotted with Harry Potter books, providing world-weary workers with a wonderful sense of escapism. This book is highly recommended to anybody between the ages of 8 and 80. Is all the hype about the Harry Potter books justified? In a word, yes. The books are a joy to read and possibly the most rewarding young adult book since The Hobbit. So you can see it's really nicely summarised. They've given the recommendation that basically the book's available, sort of enjoyable to anyone, and they've said it is worth reading. Also, one of the things we haven't said is about the language that you use in reviews, apart from the fact that it should be kind of light-hearted, informal. You can see there's some really nice use of sort of persuasive language here. Rhetorical question. The world-weary workers, alliteration is quite memorable. So using your sort of persuasive devices that you would have learned previously, but not overdoing it, using them where it works well within your writing to create that sort of entertaining and informal language. So what you should do now is go away and have a go at this task. So write a review for a teenage magazine of a book, film or TV program or series you've enjoyed in the last year and why it might appeal to others of your age. So as we said, you can choose book, film or TV series, something you know well that you can review, whether you liked it or you didn't like it. And remember, it's being targeted at teenagers, so people of your own age. You want to inform people of your opinion, advise them whether they should go and watch or read this thing, and also entertain them. It should be enjoyable to read. So hope that's helpful, everyone. Good luck. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you have any questions, you can leave them in comments. Bye-bye.